Inflation. Now let's talk about it. I'm going to do more videos about this subject, but I really wanted to talk about this because this is sickening what's going on, man. It's sickening. So let's talk about it. The Fed has been raising interest rates higher than we've ever done since the 1980s. We've raised 450 bips in a year. Now, if you don't know, for those, the small percentage of you that don't know what bips are, it's a short term for basis points, bips. 100 bips is 1%. So you say 450, that means 4.5%. In the big picture, that's not a lot, ladies and gentlemen. We've been getting a lot of damn near interest-free loans in comparison to the past and what we're getting now for quite a while, 10 plus years. Do you remember back in 2018, in December 2018, during Donald Trump's administration, where they tried to raise the rates real quick, and the market just had a temper tantrum about it? Well, it didn't happen this time, because what they did was, and I mean the Fed and Jerome Powell and the rest of these selected politicians, they lied to us. They told us that it was transitory inflation, that is. Oh, it's just here for temporary. It's only here temporary, and this, that, and the third. And every little increment they would tell us, then they say, okay, well, it's here, so it's not that big of a deal. So we're going to raise interest rates. And they would tell us and bake it into the cookies and bake it into the market, right? There are no free lunches, ladies and gentlemen. Meaning, when money comes into the system, like the $1.7 trillion omnibus bill, so when they told you that they were sucking liquidity out of the market, they were to a certain extent, but still signing those things towards the end of 2022, and now with these bank bailouts and then the high interest rates, now we're seeing what's going on with these bank collapses and the bailouts of those, because that's what they are, ladies and gentlemen. Like the great Senator Kennedy said, he said, you can put perfume on a pig, but it's still a pig. It still smells like a pig, and it's still a pig. So I don't care what you say, it's what you did, and what you do is what you are. So, with all this going on, inflation, when they tell us it's 6%, we all know that's not true. So now, what do we have here, ladies and gentlemen? We have money printing, the money printer go burr. So basically, everything that they've done in the last year or whatever has gone to the wayside in the last week. All this money for bailouts, all this free money out of thin air from bailouts. Because even if the FDIC or the Fed doesn't give them the money directly, and these other banks give the other banks money, where do you think that's coming from, ladies and gentlemen? You're going to have to pay regardless as a depositor into these banks. Because again, they're using your money to make more money. So as a bank, their job is to not just give away money to other banks. That money's going to come from somewhere. And trust me, it ain't coming out of their pockets. It's coming out of yours and mine. They'll get the money back somehow. So what do we have? We have a 6% inflation rate. We have the Fed meeting next week. And I'll make a video about what I think is going to happen. It's pretty much guaranteed what's going to happen. So I'm not going to make a big deal out of it. We know what's going to happen next week. And when that does happen, and then the next meeting in, I think it's early May, because it's every 6 weeks. They're going to pause on the hikes. And when you pause on the hikes, because remember, guys, remember this. There's only one way to stop inflation. Well, two ways. You have to stop printing money. That's the first thing. But the money's still out there, so the inflation is going to be bad. But then you can pull out some of the liquidity with the mortgage-backed securities and stuff. But also you have to raise the Fed interest rate from what the Fed gives to the banks, what percent they borrow from the banks, then they pass it on to us, up to or higher than inflation. And they haven't done that, ladies and gentlemen. They tell you it's 6%, but we all know it's not 6%. The brave Paul Volcker did this in the 80s, and there was some repercussions after that, but he did what he had to do. Again, they weren't $30-something trillion in debt either back in the 80s. So what do we have, ladies and gentlemen? We have inflation that's telling us that it's going down a tiny bit year over year, from month to month, year over year. And we have bank bailouts. So we have all this money printing going on. Like I said, over the last year, they made it up for the last week in the money printing. And don't forget about the omnibus bill. I would never forget about that omnibus bill at 1.7 trillion. Nothing's free in this life, ladies and gentlemen. So when you have more money printing and putting liquidity back into the economy, circling around, and we know supplies have been down a little bit for certain things, and we've been having difficulties with other countries because we don't make shit in this country. We are importers, not exporters. We don't have our own oil. That's for another video. So we have more dollars chasing less goods. That equals higher inflation. Also, the money printer is going burr, and the Fed is going to lower a little bit lower in interest rates, pause, and then guess what they're going to do? Lower it from where the 0.50 or 50 basis points down to the next one. They're going to pause, and then guess what they're going to do? They're going to reverse. Just like driving a car. You drive forward, you stop, you look back, you put your car in reverse, and you go in reverse. That's exactly what's going to happen. And when they go in reverse and the interest rates go down, because we already know one of the only ways to fight inflation besides turning off the money printer, which they're doing, they're turning it on, is to put the interest rates higher than inflation. Well, if the inflation is going up while the printers are going burr and more money's coming in, the liquidity into the system, and they're lowering interest rates at the same time. I'm not a mathematician, ladies and gentlemen, but do you think inflation is going to go up or down? Again, I've told you this 1,000 times. If you think for 1 minute that the Fed gives two shits about inflation, I got a bridge to sell you, ladies and gentlemen. What is that going to do for the prices of our assets? And what's our assets? You know what they are. Cash, short term, Bitcoin, silver, gold, platinum, things like that, real money. What's it going to do to those prices? You already see what's going on with Bitcoin. Silver to a certain extent, gold to a certain extent. These things are going up. Because what's going to happen when the money printer goes burr and at the same time they're lowering interest rates? What's going to happen to the dollar index, ladies and gentlemen? The US dollar in comparison to the other countries. Mostly the certain one. What's going to happen? It's going to lower down. And you know it's an inverse. It's like a seesaw. When silver and gold are up, the dollar is down, and vice versa. But it's a lag effect, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to happen overnight. But the more and more this liquidity creeps in and the interest rates go down, the more and more things are going to cost in the near to mid and long-term future. And we need to tell our loved ones about this. It's not, don't just tell them, hey, inflation's going up. Explain to them why. Sit down with them. I'm not teaching you guys anything because you guys already know this. And I guarantee you I missed something. And the people that watch my channel are so smart. You guys are going to leave comments in this comment section breaking stuff down for me. That's why I love doing this channel, to be honest. Guys like Jimmy and the like. Smart as hell. Love it. But we're not here to be in an echo chamber. We're here to fight for our freedom and sovereignty. And how do we do that? We don't just have these little meetings in these little clubs where we sit down. It's only members onlys, member only people that only have Bitcoin and silver and gold, and people that know about freedom and the things that we know about, and sit and talk to each other. This ain't a club, ladies and gentlemen. I'm all inclusive, including the wokesters. Anybody in this great country, Canada, and all over the world. Our country first, obviously, and our neighbors first, and our family, our brothers and sisters. We need to wake these people up. Do not, and I repeat this, do not fall for the diversions, not the distractions, because that's one of them. Because it's distract, divert, and direct your attention somewhere else. Not that. Do not let these distractions divert you from dividing us. Don't let it divide us. Let it unite us, is what I meant to say. I don't care how lefty they are, how much of a libtard they are. PMG. I don't care. You know, and some of them are gone. They're like zombies. They're gone, but you still love them, and that's fine. You just poke them every once in a while. But you got to wake these people up and let them know. Because I'm telling you, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, divided we stand, united we'll fall. We'll all be falling. We cannot let these people, we cannot let those people up there, these old fat men, these old people, these 1,500 to 2,500 people, these WF elites and all these other people run our lives, because we know it's not true. We know what's going on with climate change and all this, you know what, gender stuff and all this stuff they're teaching the kids and stuff. We know it's evil. Again, it is good versus evil. And I'm not talking about our brethren around the country. When they have been exposed to this evil, if you are somebody that was in church, you got to say, hey, you've been hit by the, you know what, the evil with the D in front of it. And you need to turn these people, and we need to do it. Do not fight against your brother and sister and your neighbor. Don't do it. Fight against the people that are trying to turn them or have turned them into people that think like that. Because it's not their fault, ladies and gentlemen. They're not stupid. I know we call them stupid. I know we make fun of them, and I get it. But inflation is a real thing. We're not taught this in school. In America, China, wherever, if you look in the classrooms, there's some smart kids here. But you're only smart from what they teach you. Again, they don't teach you how to learn. They teach you what to learn. That doesn't mean we're stupid. We're only taught, who would think when you're a kid that you thought that cereal was bad for you or breakfast was bad for you and all these foods and all these things put in our body and in our minds were bad? We didn't know. We just go by what our parents say and our teachers say and our counselors say and our coaches say. That's what we do. But unfortunately, they were misinformed too. But fortunately, we're living in a information age, which is unfortunate because they get a lot of misinformation. And it is up to you as a leader in your region and in your area, as a freedom fighter, sovereignty, to stand up for what's right. And don't let this tyranny win. Do not let them continue to be brainwashed. Do not come at them in an argumentative way. Get on their level. Be on the same page with them and let them know what's going on with this inflation. People are not saving. I heard like 67% or something like that. Don't have $1,000 saved up. My God, in the richest nation in the world, supposedly, ladies and gentlemen. Put them on to what's going on with the fiat currency. Let them know what it is. Let them know what inflation is. Let them know what the real money is. God's money, gold and silver. And I guarantee you get them into silver, they'll start saving. Silver to me is the best savings account ever. It really is. And if you haven't bought silver yet, come holler at me in the emails and I'll show you how to do it if you haven't done it yet. And ask me any question. Bitcoin, silver, gold, platinum, how to stack cash, whatever. 99% of you guys know it, but don't ever be embarrassed. And you don't have to ask me. Search on YouTube. And if you're one of those people that don't have $1,000 saved up, it's time to do it. It's not too late. And if you feel like you can't help anybody because you're all messed up and you're not financially straight, I'm gonna give you a word of advice. Before you help anybody, do like the airline stewardess say on the airplanes. When they're standing there and they show you what happens when a plane's gonna go down, the first thing they say is, if you're sitting in the emergency seat or any seat and that little mask comes down, before you help anybody and put someone's mask on, put your own mask on first. So in other words, walk the walk, practice what you preach. Be a person with at least $1,000 saved and know what you're talking about. Watch videos, educate yourself, turn off the effing TV. It's a tell-lie vision. Tell-lie vision. Program. Just remember that. Let's wake these people up, ladies and gentlemen. Again, you know what we're here for. We're here for freedom and sovereignty. And we're here to fight in a non-violent way and to stand up and say, no more. No mas. No more, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully this will be my last video here in Texas. I love this part of the country, man. I really do. I love this great nation, man. I absolutely love this country. But damn it, we got to fight for it. And where the fighting starts, it starts with yourself. Like the great Michael Jackson said, the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror. Look at yourself in the mirror and say, if I'm not where I need to be, I need to get where I'm going to be. And then once I get there, I'm going to bring others with me. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Sorry about the rant. I'll talk to you guys soon. I love each and every one of you. You know that. Do me a favor. Just the 4 things I always say to you if you're not already. Just a gentlewoman's agreement. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe to the channel, please, and thank you. Hit the like button. Leave me a comment. Leave me a thought, because I learned so much from you guys. I really mean that. It really helps the channel. And also, what would really help if you share this with other people. And if you don't want to share my videos, that's perfectly fine. Share other videos like this. So I don't want to be, I don't want to be like that. If you want to share it and if you like it, if you got some knowledge out of it, I appreciate it. So again, guys, I love you so much. And we're brothers and sisters in here. We got to work together, hand in hand. We will walk together and fight together in a non-violent way. I'll talk to you guys so soon. God bless you and your family. God bless this country. God bless this country, man. And I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love.